Hello friends, Gary Goals and fellow poets, welcome back to Conversing with Poets. And tonight, let me turn this heating off. Tonight is Burns night. So I hope you have your haggis. I've put on my puffy shirt. I very rarely get to wear it other than nights like this or Shakespeare videos, stuff like that. I kind of wanted to let my hair get a bit greasy so it's a bit piratey and all that jazz. But yes, it is Burns night, everybody, and I am aware that some people in the chat right now have never celebrated Burns night before. Some of you may not even know of Robert Burns and who he is, which is why I've taken some time to try and organize a stream that is obviously Burns night, celebrating Robert Burns and Scottish culture and stuff. More Robert Burns for me, because I'm obviously English and I don't know anything about Scottish culture, but I'm here to celebrate Robert Burns. But I've also kind of tried to design it in a way that is educational, so that people who don't know who Robert Burns is or hasn't celebrated Burns night before can get to learn and get to understand who Robert Burns was and um, why he's so popular and so famous and so beloved, should I say. So, as always, I'm going to just give it a couple of minutes for people to drop in. Hello, Daryl Dazzle. I wonder how Adam's going to look. PJ Proby. I don't know who PJ Proby is, but I've got my puffy shirt on. Let me grab my coffee. Actually, my coffee is hiding behind books and wires and all sorts of craziness. So I've got to be careful not to spill it. There we go. Okay. Hi everyone, Puffy Shirt. Puffy Shirt is here. Hi Tanya. Hi BB Ezra. Hi Delgal. Welcome to Burns Night. I said we was going to do one of these. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to get started. I'm going to have my first sip of coffee. I just got a notification. Hello, Paula. Hello, Paula. Welcome to Burns Night. I don't think I've seen you on a live stream before, so very good to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was just saying, for those who missed it, I have designed this live stream to be a Burns night. Of course, we're going to celebrate Robert Burns, but also I know that there's quite a few people who don't know who Robert Burns is, so we're gonna do some learning as well, education. I'm starting a thread in the Cove, if that's okay, in case people have pics. Yeah, please do that. I'd love to see people's outfits. Cove Fred, I'm kind of regretting the fact that I've let my hair get greasy. I was going for the old look, but it just kind of looks crap. Anyway, before we get started, today was a really good day because the proof for the new Poetry Cove magazine arrived. So please. Oh, it says the stream is struggling. Please, if you want to support a cool magazine, this is the magazine I edit and run. We have poems. We have got poems there. We have, I'll show you the back actually. We've got a word. Each issue has a word search. poetrycove.com/magazine. We've got articles, interactive interviews, poetry events from around the world. It's all good stuff, but I just wanted to show you that because it arrived today. So a shameless plug. A shameless plug. So I like it. I'm starting. Yep, I like it. Yeah, it came out really, really nice. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. But this is why we're here. This is why we're here. Robert Burns. The complete poems and songs of Robert Burns. It says that the stream is doing really well. We've only got one viewer. We've only got one viewer. I hate the internet. Your hair, it looks nice, Adam. No, no, it doesn't. But thank you. I regret doing this now, but it is what it is. We're here for Robert Burns. That's why we're here. This book is really nice, by the way, guys. If you can get your hands on this, the hardback copy of the complete poems and songs of Robert Burns, I would really recommend it. It's really nice. And do you know what I love most about this book? Do you know what I love most about this book? Where can I find a good example? There you go. Look at this, guys. This is how it's done. There are one, two, three, four, five poems on 2 pages. Now, there is a lot of work in here, so maybe that was just down to the pure volume of work that Robert Burns has. But still, it goes to show that it can be done. We can have more than one poem on a page. Now, I spent some time today picking out some poems that I feel like I could read without completely and utterly butchering in my English accent, because he does write in Scottish dialect. He does write in Scottish dialect, and previous Burns night I went live and I didn't pick out the poems beforehand. I just randomly stopped on a page, and some of them were really hard to read. But what I'm going to do now, because as I say, I want this stream to be informative for those who have never celebrated before. I'm going to read the introduction, and of course in the introduction I may regret this because it's quite long, but it's going to teach you about Robert Burns. So Robert Burns is unique amongst poets. There is no other literary figure in whose name and on whose birthday each year thousands of people across the world sit down and enjoy a ceremonial meal. Now that is the traditional way of celebrating Burns Night, is getting together and having a meal and some whiskey and stuff like that. But we can't do that because we're on YouTube. So we're going to have to just read poetry. I'm thinking in part 2 we may even do a bit of a write along and write an ode to Robert Burns. If we've got time, we'll see. But anyway, the phenomenon of the Burns cult is truly remarkable. But the essential thing about Robert Burns is that he was a great poet. When he died in 1796, in debt, aged 37, worn out by hard work and illness, well loved, but far from being a cult figure, he was already a great poet. So he died at 37. That's so young. And he has this volume of work at 37 is actually quite incredible. But he was a farmer, for those who don't know. So where it says worn out by hard work, he was a farmer. He ran the family farm. If, improbably, the Burns suppers ceased to take place, it would make no difference to the stature of the writer whom they celebrate. The truest way to appreciate and honour a poet is to read his work. The passage of time and the stifling of the Scots language by modern English have put some obstacles in the way of our reading of Burns. The Liat Haffets of the Kotar in the Kotar jest, the white-faced cow beyond the partition wall separating house from byre. But these are isolated examples. In To a Mouse, the phrase a daemon icke in a thrave may not mean much to us on its own, but when we go straight on to read that it is a smar request and I'll get a blessing wi' thee lave and never miss tea, then we don't need any glossary to bundle of sheaves. But the context of the poem has already made the meaning sufficiently plain. I mean, I would probably still need a glossary for that, I'm not going to lie. But that's still, yeah, I never got that. Burns's poems are full of memorable thoughts and images. Among his lyrics are phrases and verses so universally known that their source is half forgotten. Quote, "The best laid schemes o' mice and men gang aft agly, or wade some power the gifty give us to see ourselves as others see us. Nae man can tether time or tide." End quote. One of the most remarkable things about Burns is his versatility. He is a superb love poet, and for him, love and poesy always went together. As a boy of 15, he began to write love poems. 15, guys, 15. And he never stopped falling in love and writing about it. Quote, "To all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, for the sands of life shall run. That is a quote from my favourite Burns poem, which we will get onto after I've read this introduction. But Burns was the master of many forms of verse. Picking up on a Scottish tradition, he developed the verse epistle, a poem in letter form to a friend, often another poet. Thanks for that heart. I just caught it there. Thank you. In an epistle, he could write about anything he pleased. In the Epistle of J. Leprake, he wrote about himself. Give me a spark of nature's fire. That's the learning I desire. Then though I drudge through dub and mire, at pleugh or cart, my muse, though hamely in attire, may touch the heart. This did himself less than injustice. As a child he had been well taught, and he was an avid reader all his life, but the poverty of his father had prevented him from a college education, and he felt the lack of it, less in himself than in other people's attitudes towards him. Sometimes he played up to the heaven-taught, ploughman poet image that was bestowed on him. Often he resented it. Resentment at religious oppressiveness and hypocrisy sharpened his gift for satire. After the publication of Holy Willie's Prayer, many others... Grow up, Adam. Many others, as well as its victim, Mr. William Fisher, must have taken care to show a less sanctimonious face to the world. Quote, Yet here am I, a chosen sample, to show thy grace is great and ample. End quote. With his satiric gift went the ability to make a swift epigram. As in one of his mock epitaphs on a schoolteacher, he wrote a lot of epitaphs, by the way. Here lie Willie Mitchie's banes. Satan, when ye take him, give him the schooling of your wains, for clever devils he'll make 'em. And that's me kind of adding letters. I'm doing a job of trying to make it sound how we would talk nowadays. It's written differently. Again, get this book, guys. I think you'll really love it. Burns is perhaps most famous for his nature poetry after his love songs. As a hard-working countryman, he did not idolize the country, but he fell in with the poetical habit of the day, beginning with description and then bringing the subject of the poem round to his own state of happiness or gloom, as in, and mourn I still on meany dote. Quote, The wanton coot the water skims, among the reeds the ducklings cry, the stately swan majestic swims, and everything is blessed but I. For his native country he had a burning fervour. He read all he could find on Scottish history, even as a boy Wallace had been one of his heroes, along with another soldierly leader, Hannibal. His poem, Robert Bruce's March to Bannockburn, with its stirring lines, became the anthem of Scotland, and that is why he is huge. Like, he did some huge things for Scottish culture and stuff like that. Let me just take a sip. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, he's huge. He's done some big things, and we'll get onto that. Became the anthem of Scotland. Quote, Scots, what have ye Wallace bled? Scots wham Bruce has often led. Welcome to your gory bed, or to victory. With his Scottish patriotism went a slightly quixotic sympathy for the Jacobite cause, which had been finally defeated in 1746, 13 years before he was born. For Burns, as for others, hostility to the Hanoverian monarchy and its corrupt administration of Scotland added something more than nostalgia. Quote, The injured Stuart line is gone. A race outlandish fills their throne, an idiot race to honour lost, know them best, despise them most. End quote. He scratched these lines on the window pane of an inn in Stirling, looking up towards the then ruinous castle which had cradled the Stuart kings. It is not likely that Robert Burns would have long approved of a Stuart restoration. In politics, he was a radical. He supported the American War of Independence and wrote in his Ode for General Washington's birthday, quote, "But come, ye sons of liberty, Columbia's offspring brave as free. In danger's hour, still flaming in the van, ye know and dare maintain the royalty of man." End quote. Like his slightly younger English contemporaries Wordsworth and Coleridge, he heard with joy in 1789 of the French Revolution. But by 1795, when war with post-revolutionary France was imminent, he was writing "Does haughty Gaul invasion threat?" His sympathy for the exploited comes out in works like The Slave's Lament, not one of his most memorable poems, and his deep and genuine feeling of brotherhood of man is most often recalled in "A Man's a Man for a' that." Quote, "The rank is but the guinea's stamp, the man's the gowd for a' that." End quote. Though it recurs in many other poems. We're nearly there, guys. Bear with me. We're nearly there. I just want you guys to get like a full picture of the man we're celebrating tonight. In what were to be his last years, how old was he? How old did I say? 39? 39? 34? 37. In what were to be his last years, Burns spent much of his time gathering all he could find of the remaining folk songs and fragments of folk songs in Scots. Burns rescued and rewrote many. Such an exercise rarely improves on the original, but in his case, such was his intimacy with the material, his sense for what was true and valid, and his respect for the work of the unknown original authors, that he gave to Scotland one of the finest collections of folk song of any European country. One example out of many is For the Sake of Somebody, with its beautiful melody, which Burns changed from a rather coarse country song for a man into a haunting love song for a girl. Quote, "My heart is sair, I dare nae tell, my heart is sair for somebody. I could wake a winter night for the sake of somebody. Oh, hon for somebody could range the world around for the sake of somebody." If Burns's preoccupation with songs gives cause for any regret as we look back on his work, it may be that it deprived us of more poems like Tam O'Shanter. This splendid, galloping, eldritch midnight adventure was written in 1791 on the request for a witch tale. Beautifully paced, it's blown its last. The rattling showers rose on the blast. The speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud, deep, and lang the thunder bellowed. Night, a child might understand the Dale had business on his hand. Last bit, guys, last paragraph. Burns's variety of themes and styles is outstanding. He is a poet for all moods and all seasons. His own humanity as an individual and his extended feeling for a wider humanity shine through everything he wrote. He wrote fast, often under difficult circumstances, poems in Scots. Some of his poems are occasional, in the sense that they were written in response to a particular event, not necessarily for the critical eye of posterity. But these are trifling criticisms against the treasury of his complete work. If there are some farthings, plaques, and bottles among the gold he has left us, we are still a little richer for each word from his pen. So that is the introduction. It was a bit lengthy, but I apologize. This is all so helpful and informative. Thank you for reading it. Absolutely. This is what I mean. I wanted anyone who doesn't know of Robert Burns or Burns Night, I wanted to give you a full sort of picture of kind of what's going on and who we're celebrating. And as someone, I think maybe it was Nikki in one of the streams mentioned, that it's sort of developed into just celebrating Scottish culture. But I'm not Scottish, I'm a poet, so I am purely celebrating the man. Now, let me read you my favourite Robert Burns poem, and it's a very popular one. See, I'm all prepared for you guys tonight. This is one book I don't fold the pages for. It's a really lovely book, guys. 395. A Red, Red Rose. You may have heard this, you may not have, but this is my favourite Robert Burns poem. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I. And I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun. I will love thee still, my dear, or the sands of life shall run. And fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well awhile, and I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 mile. And that is A Red, Red Rose by Robert Burns. I love that poem. I love that poem. In terms of, as far as love poems go, I think that, for me personally, that is up there with Sonnet 18, which is my all-time favorite poem. So that's saying something. A Red, Red Rose. Well done, Adam. That was really interesting. Yes, it's. I didn't realize he died so young. 37 is crazy. 37 is crazy, guys. Crazy young. Thank you so much for the 7 likes. By just turn that down. Thank you so much for the 7 likes, guys. I appreciate it. Can we get to 10? We've still got ages, so I think we can. Thank you for that heart as well. Thank you very, very much. So, what was I going to do? I was going to do Handsome Now. If you watch my review videos, you'll know that I always read the opening poem. When you're putting collections together, if you find yourself in the position of doing so, the opening poem is, and who put this together? Who edited this? I couldn't tell you, but I want to read the poem that the editor of this book chose to start the anthology or the collection. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know if there's a reason for the ordering of this. Maybe he ordered or they ordered. I'm not sure. I don't know who did. But above the poem is this. I never had the least thought of inclination of turning poet till I got once heartily in love, and then rhyme and song were, in a manner, the spontaneous language of my heart. The following composition was the first of my performances. It is, indeed, very puerile and silly, but I am always pleased with it, as it recalls to my mind those happy days when my heart was yet honest and my tongue was sincere. Oh, I think that was okay. That apparently was Robert Burns. He wrote that. Commonplace Book, August 1783. Interesting. So I guess that was actually Robert Burns writing that. Anyway, this is Handsome Now. Oh, once I loved a bonny lass. Aye, and I loved her still. And whilst that virtue warms my breast, I'll love my handsome Nell. As bonny lasses I have seen, and money full of braw, and money full as braw, but for a modest, graceful mien, the like I never saw. A bonny lass, I will confess, is pleasant to the eye, but without some better qualities, she's not a lass for me. But Nelly's looks are blithe and sweet, and what is best of all, her reputation is complete, and fair without a flaw. She dresses, I say, clean and neat, both decent and genteel, and then there's something in her gait Scars on 'e dress look well, look well. A gaudy dress and gentle air may slightly touch the heart, but it's innocence and modesty that polishes the dart. 'Tis this in Nelly pleases me, 'tis this enchants my soul, for absolutely in my breast she reigns without control. And that is Handsome Nell. I got stuck on some of them. Again, I'm kind of, as I'm reading it, I'm trying in my brain to quickly kind of complete the words and read it in a way that will be understandable, but it's not necessarily written that way. But yeah, Handsome Nell. Now, I do have in front of me, how are we doing on time? I do have on my little sort of, I've got the schedule of the stream right next to me, which is why I keep looking off camera. I do have the chronology of Robert Burns's life. Now, after reading that lengthy introduction, would you guys like me to go through the chronology of his life, or not really? That's up to you guys. Because I realize I took Imagine. He's as it was mentioned in the introduction, he is very well known for his love poetry. Um, he's very good at it. Very, very good at it. I'm gonna go through the chronology. I don't think it's going to take as long as the introduction, to be honest with you. So let me begin with the chronology. 1759. Birth at Alloway in Ayrshire of Robert Burns on the 25th of January, today. Eldest son of William Burns, William Burns, spelt differently though, and Agnes Brown, not spelt brown as in the colour, spelt Broun. Don't forget, 1700s we're talking about. The spelling of many words changed over the years. 1765. Robert attends Alloway School until his father and some neighbours employ a young teacher, John Murdoch. 1766. The family moves to Mount Oliphant, southeast of Alloway. 1768. John Murdoch leaves for a better post, French and Latin under John Murdoch. Interesting. So he ended up studying under his home teacher anyway. 1774. Robert writes "Oh Once I Loved," his first song, in the autumn after falling in love with his harvest partner, Nellie Kilpatrick. 1777. The family moves inland to Locklear, a larger farm near Tarbolton. 1778. Robert attends school at Kirkoswald for the summer to learn mensuration. Thought it said, I had to stop myself there. I thought it said something else. Hi all, got stuck on M25. Oh no. I feel your pain, I feel your pain, M25. I feel your pain, Nikki. Nearly home, then we'll be with you. No problem, no problem. I'm just going through the chronology of Burns's life. Where did we get to? And surveying. Mensuration and surveying. Here he falls in love with Peggy Thompson. 1780. Robert and his friends established the Bachelors' Club in Tarbolton. 1781. Robert becomes a Freemason and goes to Irvine to learn flax dressing. 1782. In March, Robert returns from Irvine to Locklear after the premises where he worked are destroyed by fire. Hi Nikki, I'm excited to hear your historic insights. I'm currently swooning over Robert Burns. He is perhaps replacing Lord Byron as my poet crush. Where was I? I've forgotten where I was. Oh, destroyed by fire. William Burns takes a legal case against his landlord to Court of Session. Okay, so there was a little bit of drama there. He took his landlord to court over a fire. 1783, Robert First keeps a commonplace book in which he records and revises his early poems. 1784, in January, the Court of Session finds in favour of William Burns, but by this time he is ill and the case has exhausted his savings. He dies on the 13th of February. So something happened with his landlord that burnt down the farm. He spent his whole life. This is Burns's father, not Robert Burns, William Burns. He spent his whole life savings at court fighting his landlord, and he wins, only to fall ill and die shortly after. In March, Robert and Gilbert take on the lease of the farm at Mosgiel. Robert meets and falls in love with Jean Armour. So, 1784, and he's already fallen in love with 3 women. 1785, on the 22nd of May, Elizabeth Patten, Mrs. Burns's servant, has a child, Elizabeth, by Robert, his first child. Hang on, let me break that down again. On the 22nd of May, that Robert records the death and dying words of poor Maylie in his commonplace book. In February, it is revealed to her family that Jean Armour is pregnant. Is pregnant by Robert. Okay. Jean is sent to relatives in Paisley, so that's his second child. Robert with a different woman. All in the space of 2 years. Robert meets and falls in love. Oh gosh. with Mary Campbell, but she dies in Greenock. Robert decides to go to Jamaica, but postpones it when the Kilmarnock edition of his poems, chiefly in the Scottish dialect, is published in July. That's his famous book. 3 women. Well, we're on 4 now. We're on 4. We've just touched the 4th woman he's fallen in love with, and he has two kids. Oh yeah, here's my type. Robert decides to go to Jamaica, but doesn't because of his famous book is published in July. In September, Jean Armour gives birth to twins. Oh dear. So he's now got 3 children and 3 women on the go. On 17th of November, Burns leaves for Edinburgh to arrange a second edition of his poems, encouraged by blind poet Thomas Blacklock. I've not heard of him before. Thomas Blacklock. He arrives on the 28th of November. 1787. Rampage Rob. Yeah, I like that. 1787. The expanded Edinburgh edition of his poems is published on 21st of April. In May, Burns tours the border country and northern England. At Dumfries, he learns that Meg Cameron, a servant girl. Hang on a minute, guys. This is rampant. Well, I would go with Rampage Rob as well. Hang on a minute. In May, Burns tours the border country and northern England. At Dumfries, he learns that Meg Cameron, a servant girl in Edinburgh, is pregnant by him. So, between 1784 and 1787, he's had 4 children, and I believe had an entanglement, if we're going with what's her name? Will Smith's wife. He's had an entanglement with 5 women. 4 children. Well, he's had 3 children and another one is pregnant. It's a wonder he had time to write any poetry. Yeah, right? 1787. Okay, the expanded Edinburgh edition of his poems is published on 21st of April. In May, Burns turns the border, and Meg Cameron, a servant girl in Edinburgh, is pregnant by him. On the 9th of June, Burns returns to Mosgiel and renews his love affair with Jean Armour. Goodness me. At the end of June, he embarks on a tour of the West Highlands on his own, visiting Inverary and Dumbarton. On 25th of August, Robert sets off with William Nicol on a tour of the Northern Highlands, returning to Edinburgh on the 16th of September. In October, Burns tours the Occults. He stays at Harveston House when he courts Margaret Chalmers and proposes marriage, but is refused. Good on you, Margaret. Well done. Probably a smart choice. Wow. He was definitely a, well, FB, I think we would call him in modern terms. Volume 1 of Johnson's Scots Musical Museum is published, containing 3 songs by Burns. Jenny Clow, a servant girl. Jenny Clow, a servant girl in Edinburgh, has a child by Burns. We must be on child 6 by now, I think. And I'm not exaggerating. I think we're on child 6 now. All in the space of, from 84, we're now on 88. 4 years. 4 years. 4 years and 6 children. I didn't know this side of him. I thought he was just a romantic. I didn't know he was 1788. Volume 2 of Johnson's Museum is published in February, containing 35 songs by Burns. 35. In February, Robert returns to Ayrshire. In March, Jean Armour has twin girls, but they die within a month. That's sad. That's not good. In August, their marriage is regularized by Kirk Session in Malchlin. Robert enters the excise and completes a 6-week training course. In the summer, he moves into Ellisland and is joined there by Jean and their son, the girl twin. The girl twin having died late in 1787. I suppose, they did have a lot of children back in those days, didn't they? Because the mortality rate was quite low. Well, it was very low. 1789, at the end of February, he pays a hurried visit to Edinburgh. On the 18th of August, Jean has a son, Francis Wallace. 1790, Volume 3 of Johnson's Museum is published in February with 40 songs by Robert. Tam O'Shanter is completed in the autumn. Hey, Nikki, thank you for joining us. Yes, I did, in fact, start singing it in my head. But glad you can join us. We're just wrapping up on the chronology, guys. We won't be too long. 1791, on the 31st of March, Anna Park, a barmaid at the Globe Tavern in Dumfries, has a baby daughter, wouldn't you know, by Robert. The child Elizabeth. Oh, the child Elizabeth. Wasn't there already a child called Elizabeth? Sorry, my hair's getting in my mouth. Is taken by Jean. Wow, that's like a storyline for EastEnders. On 9th of April, Jean has a son, William Nicol. If someone is about to tell me that the Burns family bloodline is dead, then I will be shocked, because we must be on child 10 by now. Although some, granted, I think 3 so far, maybe 4 have unfortunately passed. Mortality rate is high. Yeah, my bad. You got me there. Thank you. Yes, the mortality rate is high. Thank you, Nikki. On taken by Jean. In November, Robert gives up Ellisland and the family moves to a house in the Wee Vennel, Dumfries. I guess Ellisland was the farm. He meets Maria Riddle at Friars Cast, the home of Robert Riddle, Maria's brother-in-law. I just had a thought halfway through that. In the introduction, it said that he died young from hard work. And I said it's because he was a farmer. I think his hard work was in the bedroom, not the farm, let's be honest. At the end of November, Robert pays his last visit to Edinburgh. On the 6th of December, Robert meets and parts for the last time with Nancy McElhose. Volume 4 of Johnson's Museum is published in August with 50 songs from Burns. In September, Burns begins a correspondence with George Thompson with a view to contributing to his select collection of original Scottish airs. On the 21st of November, Jean gives birth to a daughter, Elizabeth. That's like the 4th daughter they've called Elizabeth, isn't it? It definitely on here. Yeah. I think this hard work was in the bedroom. Sounds like a great line indeed. Yeah, I think that's what he died of, exhaustion in the bedroom. Okay, where was I? Where was I? Daughter Elizabeth. Burns is suspected of being a friend of the people, and his conduct is investigated by the Board of Excise. Lizzie 1, Lizzie 2, yeah. 1793, we're nearly there, guys, I promise. 1793. An enlarged edition of Thompson's collection is published in 2 volumes on the 18th of February. In April, a new edition of Burns's poems is published. In May, Burns and Jean move to a larger house in Milvenel, Dumfries. In July, Burns travels through Galloway and Wigtonshire. 1794, on the 12th of August, Jean has a baby boy, James Clencairn. In December, Burns is promoted to acting supervisor of the excise. 1795, Elizabeth, Robert's daughter by Jean, dies just before her 3rd birthday. Robert contracts rheumatic fever. 1796, Robert dies on the 21st of July. Jean gives birth to a son, Maxwell, on 25th of July, the day of his father's funeral. Volume 5 of Johnson's Museum is published with 37 songs by Robert, one of them being Auld Lang Syne, which is a poem I will read towards the end of the stream, but my goodness, he was a busy boy. Somehow my disorganized house just doesn't seem to bother me as much after hearing the Burns' story. Yeah, right. It's like George Foreman, didn't he name all of his children George? Yeah, that rings a bell. Friends of the People were campaigning for parliamentary reform, so he's possibly a bit of a rebel. Oh, he absolutely was. Yeah, he was a bit of a rebel and yeah, anarchist, I guess. So I just wanted to show you something, right? So I've read the intro and I've read the chronology of his life. Let me just flip to the back of the book real quick, guys. This is the glossary and the index. So if I take out the introduction, if I take out the life chronology, if I take out the index and the glossary, we're left with that. That is his life's work. And the guy died at 37. That is his life's work. Like, isn't that? I don't know. As Del Gale said, I don't know where he found the time. I'm losing the feed, closing down. Be back, hopefully. Sorry, guys. Yeah, my internet keeps doing this. I don't know much about Burns beyond that his love poems are some of the few that don't make me want to hurt. No pressure, right? Yeah, no pressure, right? Like that's what we have to live up to. 37, and he managed to write all of that. Yeah, my favorite love poem of Burns is A Red Red Rose, which I read at the start of the stream, but sheesh, he was my age when he died. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? Page 12. Right, let me read another one of his poems for you, which is on the next page. I dreamed I lay. I dreamed I lay. I dreamed I lay where flowers were springing gaily in the sunny beam, listening to the wild birds singing by a falling crystal stream. Wave. Trees with aged arms were wearing over the swelling, drumly wave. Such was my life's deceitful morning, such the pleasures I enjoyed. But lang or noon, loud tempests storming, and my flowery bliss destroyed. Though fickle fortune has deceived me, she promised fair and performed but ill. Of money, a joy, and hope bereaved me. I bear a heart, shall support me still. I dreamed I lay. Hi, Garage Poets. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Maybe he used poetry to seduce his lady friends. Without a doubt, without a doubt. Being a poet back then was like being a rock star. So I have no doubt that's exactly what he did. Welcome, Garage Poets. Happy Burns Night. Happy Burns Night. So that was I Dreamed I Lay. I'm just going to get through the last bits I've got here for part one. And then in part two, I thought we might do a write along and it be an ode to Robbie Burns. I like hearing Adam read. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. The Bonny Lass of Albany. Now this is probably the most, out of all the poems I chose, this is probably going to be the most difficult because there's a few words here in the Scottish dialect that I have no idea. Way. My heart is way. Anyway, I'll do my best. My heart is way and unco way to think upon the raging sea that roars between her gardens green and the bonny lass of Albany. This lovely maids of royal blood that ruled Albion's kingdoms three. But oh, alas for her bonny face, they have wranged the lass of Albany. In the rolling tide of spreading Clyde, there sits an isle of high degree, and a town of fame whose princely name should grace the lass of Albany. But there's a youth, a witless youth, that fills the place where she should be. We'll send him over to his native shore and bring our ain sweet Albany. Alas the day, and woe the day, a false usurper won the gree, who now commands the towers and lands the royal right of Albany. We'll daily pray, we'll nightly pray, on bended knees most fervently, that the time may come, with pipe and drum, we'll welcome hame fair Albany. That is the Bonny Lass of Albany. Okay, the last one I want to read you is probably the most famous one. We've already mentioned it today. We've already mentioned it on the stream. And I'll hopefully... Well, I'm going to put my hair up for part two because I hate it. I think that was a big mistake. Oh, the vanity. Auld Lang Syne. There must be someone in the chat right now who has heard Auld Lang Syne. But I've gone to the wrong page. There it is. Auld Lang Syne. So, Old long since. Auld Lang Syne. Old long since. Or in today's English, a long time ago. Auld Lang Syne. It's very famous. You'll find plenty of renditions of it. And it's usually sung at New Year's Eve. Absolutely. Thank you, Doreen. Good. I knew there'd be someone. Now I'll try not to butcher it. For Auld Lang Syne, or I think it's Syne. For Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and Auld Lang Syne? And surely ye'll be your pint stoop, and surely I'll be mine, and we twa have we twa have paddled in the burn, frae morning sun till dine, but seas between us braid have roared, sin Auld Lang Syne. And there's a hand, my trusty fire, and gies a hand o' thine, and we'll take a right good willy wort for Auld Lang Syne. I totally butchered that. That is definitely the most Scottish play. But let's take a break. I'm in dire need of sorting myself out and fixing myself up. When I get back, we're going to try a write along. The title is Ode to Robbie Burns, or an ode to Robbie Burns. That doesn't really matter, but Ode to Robbie Burns. And let's try and pull ourselves together and write an ode to the man we're celebrating tonight. The punk band Me First and the Gimmies Gimme and the Gimme Gimmies do a great cover. I will definitely look that up. Definitely look that up. back. Welcome back, Tanya. We're just breaking for part 2. I need another coffee. I need to sort myself out. But I'll see you in 5. And when we get back, we're going to do a write along, which I know you guys love. And we're going to try and write an ode to Robert Burns. So see you in 5 minutes. Hopefully. I'm sure we will. Okay, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. I got a coffee. Got a coffee. I love the bagpipes. They play them a lot in Boston. Oh, okay, do they? That's cool. Is there some Scottish heritage around there, or is it just something you guys have adopted? In fun news, Adam, out of interest, is the bagpipe tube the tune, the Scottish anthem? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I didn't want to use that just in case copyright and stuff like that. Okay, so welcome back to part two of Burns Night. I hope you're still here. I hope you've topped up with your whiskey and then bitten into another bit of haggis. How's that for alliteration? Now, we're not going to write an ode in all its glorious form because, as you know, I like to keep these ride-alongs fun and we don't think too much about it. So the title is an ode to Robbie Burns, but we don't have to structure it as an ode because it might take some time and a lot more consideration. I like to keep these things light-hearted and a bit of fun. It's Irish too, and there is a large Irish population in Boston. Yeah, I knew about the Irish. I wasn't sure about whether or not you had Scottish around there too, but awesome. Uh, what was I saying? Yeah, so let's keep this light-hearted. It's just going to be a nice little fun hour. You guys, some of you may know how this works, but for those who don't know, what we're going to do is you're going to pop in the chat that you'd like to take part in this ride along, and then I'm going to, as you can see in the screen thingy, I'm going to put together a lineup, and then we're going to just go line by line, and we're going to write a poem together. So, with all that being said, if you're watching and you haven't done this before, don't be afraid. We're here to celebrate a great Randy poet and get involved. Get involved if you wish. I encourage you to get involved, but I understand if you don't want to. That's cool if you just want to watch. So, if you want to take part, please put in the chat that you want to take part. If you're a channel member, I know Delgal is a channel member and loves the membership emojis we got going. There are two emojis that I made when we were doing write-alongs. Well, we are doing write-alongs now. First Sunday of the month, if you want to get involved. Um, there's emojis that says I'm in and let's write in a sort of Adam Gary emoji sort of thing. But if you want to get involved, and you don't have membership, that's okay. Just put a thumbs up emoji or just tell me in the chat that you want to take part. How do I hide these emojis? I forget now. How do I get rid of this? Custom emojis. No, I want to hide emojis. Oh, is it down here? No, add reaction. I don't want. Oh, there we go. Gone. Oh, wow, Garage. That's some history. I have English heritage. My family came over on the Mayflower. Oh, wow. I will try, but if I can't think of anything, I'll just say pass. No problem, Delgo. Okay, no problem. So, Delgo, you will have the opening line. Delgo has the privilege of giving us our opening line. So, Delgo will be first. Of course, I encourage anyone else to get. I'd like to take part, please. Absolutely, Doreen, no problem. So, you will be second. Doreen. Oh, let me change that down to 12. And not bold. Okay, I will take. Why is it doing this? Why are you playing funny games with me? Adam, I will take part. Open mic. I'm guessing that means Garage is interested. So let's put Garage in. Oh my goodness. Why is this playing silly games with me tonight? 12. Not bold. Okay, we've got Garage, thumbs up, excellent. I'm going to remain as spectator, no problem, Nikki, no problem. Can Doreen go first, or someone else, please? Where's Herb? Herb was around on the Cove forum today. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him in the last couple of live streams, actually. Delgar, yes, no problem, Delgar. You can go after me. How's that? Delgar? So, Doreen, you have the first line if you're happy with that. So far, we have Doreen, myself, Delgar, and Garage. Let me have a sip of coffee. Burn my throat. Very good. Okay, cool. Love old times. Yes, yes, yes. I know you're a big fan of these. Probably hitting the cards. Yeah, yeah. I know you're a big fan of these, Tanya. A lot of people are a fan of these. A lot of people like this. Okay, so here, let me just explain one last time and then we'll get going. If anyone isn't in the lineup and decides as we go along they would like to be in the lineup, as long as you let me know before we get to Garage. Oh, Tanya, good stuff. As long as you let me know before we get to Tanya, I can put you into the lineup, no problem. I just ask that if you do want to get involved, let me know before we get to Tanya. Okay, so Doreen, Adam, Delgirl, Garage, Tanya. So, Doreen, you have the lovely privilege of starting us off. So, the way this works is if you haven't done it before, when it gets to your name in the lineup, you are very brave, Doreen. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. When it gets to your turn in the lineup, at the moment it's Doreen. All you have to do is think of a line for the poem. Now, Doreen is lucky because she doesn't have to follow on from anyone else. So, Doreen, you can kick it off however you like. But the idea is, of course, at the end of it, the Doreen, sorry, the poem needs to make sense, right? So when it comes to your name and it comes to your line, you got to try to follow on from the line above so that it follows on. Now, again, this is all for good fun, so don't stress too much. If you think of a funny line, maybe Rampage Rob or Randy Rob, that's fine. We're just here to have a laugh. So, don't fret too much over it. It's all good. It's all good. We're all here just to have a bit of fun. So once again, the lineup is Doreen, myself, Delgirl, Garage, Tanya. The title is An Ode to Robbie Burns, but don't worry too much about actually writing an ode because it might be a little bit too much just for an hour of fun and games. So, over to Doreen. Hello, everyone that's just dropping in. Welcome to Burns Night on the channel. We're just doing a write along, so if you want to get involved, it's not too late. Just let me know in the chat. If you want to just kind of sit and watch and kind of get an idea of what's going on, that's fine. If you then decide you want to get involved, just make sure you let me know before we get to Tanya. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. Nice. So I will give you, if you guys give me a minute just to get that line into the poem, and then I've got to write my line. So please do talk amongst yourselves. Hello, tea slippers. Welcome to the live stream. We're just playing a game of Ride Along. It is Burns Night. It is part two of our Burns Night. Um, a balmy 52 degrees Fahrenheit in Hartford, Connecticut. Good evening. Oh, wow. That's Fahrenheit. We Brits deal in Celsius, so I'm not sure what 52 degrees Fahrenheit is in Celsius. But yes. Hello to Hartford, Connecticut, though. So it's over to Delgar now. Again, I didn't really know what to put. The idea of this is to kind of just keep it rolling, keep it lighthearted, so don't overthink it too much. It's okay. But so far, the poem is this. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th, sat at the table by candlelight. I didn't really follow on from yours very well in terms of meter and stuff, Doreen. Sorry, but again, we're just here to have a bit of fun. So this evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled closed. January 25th, sat at the table by candlelight, 11 Celsius. Wow. Adam, can you read what you put? Because I can't see it. Yeah. So I just put January. I'll put it in the chat actually. Oh, I don't know what's the temperature here. I wonder if my laptop will tell me. No. No. We were -7 Celsius the other day, though, if that gives you an idea of where we're at over here. But it has warmed up today. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight. It's unseasonably warm here in Massachusetts as well. Is it? Okay. I wish it was warm here. But I think it actually might be 11 Celsius. Let me get my phone. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is right now. Oh, I got a lot of notifications. Weather. How strange is that, guys? It's 11 Celsius, exactly 11 Celsius here too. My thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. Okay, cool. Thank you, Dale Girl. Over to Garage. And I'm just going to put that into the chat real quick, into the poem real quick. Wandonda. Okay, thank you, Del Girl. So while Garage writes his line, did you mean wonder or wander? Wonder. My thoughts wander or wander. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight. My thoughts wonder as the flickering candle dances. Oh my gosh, Adam. I promise you guys I've not had any whiskey. Candle dances. Nice line, Delgo. Yes, thank you, Delgo. It's 15.5 here in North Carolina, 60 degrees. Wow. That's like a holiday to us Brits. 15 and a half. 13 degrees and us Brits are happy. We're really happy. So you can imagine when it hit 30 Celsius last year, we are not accustomed to that. That is too hot for us. 30 degrees Celsius. It was baking. That is not normal for us. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight. My thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. I think thoughts can wander. Wonderful thoughts. It's a holiday to us too, right? Yeah. Just a hoodie and I'm fine. It's good to have today off work. Nice. Nice. Got Burns night. My thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. Wonder thoughts. Excuse me. If you haven't already, guys, I'd really appreciate it. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. Let's try and get to 20 likes. I don't know if it's possible, but let's try and get to 20 likes before the end of the stream. Am I enchanted with his spirit or just drunk off these spirits? Nice. I like it. I like it. I love the wordplay. Okay, so Tanya, over to you, and I'm going to put this new line into the poem. We'll probably go round again one more time, just so we have something a bit more substantial. Remember, an ode to Robbie Burns. Okay, so far it reads an ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight. My thoughts wonder. Wonder. My thoughts wonder as the flickering candle dances. Am I enchanted by his spirit or just drunk off these spirits? Truthfully, I am enchanted. I am in love with my bonny lass. There we go. Okay, so Doreen, we're going to go round again. So it's over to you now, and then it'll be me, then they'll go again, then Garage, and then Tanya. You have the privilege of the last line. So let me just read that again for Doreen's sake, and then I'll put Tanya's line into the document. An ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight. My thoughts wonder as the flickering candle dances. Am I enchanted with his spirit or just drunk off these spirits? Truthfully, I am enchanted. I am in love with my bonnet. I've just been talking and my mic was muted. Great line. Thank you, Doreen. We're really steaming through. Great, good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna quickly put Doreen's line in and then write my own, and then it's over to Delgal. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to unmute my mic. That's my bad. That's my bad. I'm just gonna put my line in, and I'll be right with you in 2 seconds. Okay. Okay. So let's just double check that I'm not still muted. No worries, we're human, I think. I keep thinking it's me. Tanya, thanks. Couldn't believe his love journey. Yeah, I know. He was quite a, yeah. Oh dear, let me just sort this cropping out for you guys. That's not good. But that's not good either. 1 second, folks. I'll try and get it. It will have to do. That will have to do, I'm afraid, unless I can go like this. Nope. Okay, unfortunately, we're going to have a weird little black space at the bottom, but that's just that's just the way it is. Right. So, who's after me? Delgal, over to you. The poem I'm going to read for you just now, but my line is, and upon the wall, framed and tall, stand old Robbie Burns. So, title: An Ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th, sat at the table by candlelight. My thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. Let me start again. Wonder. Okay. An ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th, sat at the table by candlelight. My thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. Am I enchanted with his spirit, or just drunk off these spirits? Truthfully, I am enchanted. I am in love with my bonny lass. Love for me, you see, is like all these locks on my head, plentiful and intertangled, and upon the wall, framed and tall, stand old Robbie Burns. Can you teach your line, Adam? Can you read your line? My line is, and upon the wall, framed and tall, stand old Robbie Burns. An ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery, and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight, my thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. Am I enchanted with his spirit, or just drunk off these spirits? Truthfully, I am enchanted. I am in love with my bonny lass. Love for me, you see, is like all these locks on my head, plentiful and intertangled, and upon the wall, framed and tall, stand old Robbie Burns. I should really probably move this away. In reality, guys, when I take a breath in, it's not that loud. But this mic just picks everything up and just amplifies it like crazy. So you can hear my lips smack, but you can't hear it in reality. Every time I take a deep breath, it sounds like I'm going, but I'm not. In hello, Michael Howes. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for saying you like it. We're just having a bit of fun. We're coming into the end of our Burns night. But good to see you. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you on one of the live streams before. Correct me if I'm wrong. So thank you for being here. Welcome. I hope you enjoy it. I'm glad you like the poem. And thank you for stopping me talking about intakes of breath because I was just rambling. I was just trying to feel the stream, feel the air. But alas, my mocheroid, some Scots dialect on us. Okay, but alas, my mo. Okay, okay. Up next is garage. But alas, but alas, my mocheroid, no space for my bands. Motoroid means friends. Wow. Goodness me, thank you, Delgar. Thank you. I was saying you might have to help poor garage poets out and tell us what bands means. What does bands mean? Yeah, exactly. What does bands mean? I did not expect us to drop some Scots dialect, so well done, Del Girl. But yeah, you might have to help Garage Poets out a little bit there. So Mo Cheroid means my friends. No space for my bands. What does bands mean? Oh, kids. But alas, my friends, no space for my kids, child, babe. Wow, okay. I'm actually really impressed. Children, okay. But alas, my friends, no space for my kids. Damn. Okay, so let me read that from the top for Garage and for Tanya. Tanya, you've got an honor. Oh, it's gone up to 12 degrees and it's cloudy. Tanya, you have the honor of closing the poem. So this is how it reads for the benefit of Garage and Tanya. An ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight. I'm reading this terribly, sorry. Right, let me start again. Let me start again. An ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight, my thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. Am I enchanted with his spirit, or just drunk off these spirits? Truthfully, I am enchanted, I am in love with my bonny lass. Love, for me, you see, is like all these locks on my head, plentiful and intertangled, and upon the wall, framed and tall, stand old Robbie Burns. But alas, my Mo Cheroid, no space for my bands. Are you sure you've not been on the whiskey? I had to just double check I wasn't muted for all of that. It feels like I should be on the whiskey, but I can assure you I'm not. I'm just a fool, I guess. I'm just losing it. Thank you so much for that heart. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, look at them all coming in. Thank you. I did keep meaning to get some non-alcoholic whiskey. You can get non-alcoholic everything these days, which is great. Thank you so much, guys. Look at all these. Oh my goodness, we got some smiley faces and some hearts. Thank you. Yeah, I did keep meaning to get some non-alcoholic whiskey, but I never got round to it. This was fun. Thank you, all poets. Thank you, Doreen, for taking part. I hope we'll see you again in some live streams. If you like the ride-alongs, we do ride-alongs the first Sunday of every month. We only do them once a month, but we do live streams every Thursday and Sunday every week. So I hope that we will see you in some others. With these thoughts squatting rent-free in my head from morning till dawn. Okay, Tanya, over to you to wrap up the poem. Garage Poet's line was, with these thoughts squatting rent-free in my head from morning till dawn. I'm going to put that in the document and pass the baton to Tanya. Okay, with these thoughts squatting rent-free in my head from morning till dawn, I would like to be here again. We'd love you to be here again. I was here first Sunday in Jan. Thanks. Oh, you was. Oh, I apologize. I apologize. Please forgive me. I lower my head and sink deeper into my whiskey glass. You guys are great. I've enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Tea Slippers. Yeah, these are great. You have 14 likes, Adam. Can we get to 21 and break the record? This has been a great stream. Oh my goodness. Well, we're at the end of Ride Along, which is the end of what I've got planned. So if there's anyone out there that hasn't liked and can get us to 21, which will break our in-stream record, then now's the time to do it. While I put Tanya's last line in the document. So hit that like button, get your friends to hit that like button. Let's break an in-stream record. I'm going to put Tanya's line in the document now. Okay, I'm not going to look just yet. I'm going to read through the poem. If we've hit 21 likes, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll be very happy, and it will be an in-stream record broken. So let's see if we can get to 21, or at least as close to 21 before I finish this poem. Title: An Ode to Robbie Burns. This evening is blustery, and my rough coat pulled close. January 25th. Sat at the table by candlelight, my thoughts wander as the flickering candle dances. Am I enchanted with his spirit, or just drunk off these spirits? Truthfully, I am enchanted. I am in love with my bonny lass. Love, for me, you see, is like all these locks on my head, plentiful and intertangled. And upon the wall, framed and tall, stand old Robbie Burns. But alas, my Motoroid, no space for my bairns. With these thoughts squatting rent-free in my head from morning till dawn, I lower my head and sink deeper into my whiskey glass. And that, my friends, is an ode to Robbie Burns. Oh my goodness. Michael Howes, welcome to Loyal Supporter. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. And now you've got a little goatee. If you wondered what that is next to your name now, it's supposed to be a goatee because that was supposed to be my thing. The longer you are a channel member, you'll get different colors. But thank you so much. I really you don't know how much that means to me. So thank you, Michael. That's amazing. I appreciate the support. Everyone hit the like button for Robbie. Yes, everyone hit that like button for good old Robbie Burns and his crazy antics. Come on, everyone. Anyone just watching, that's okay, but hit that like button. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's really put a smile on my face, Michael. Thank you. Lots of love. Tanya, thank you so much, guys. That does bring us to the end of our Burns Night. For those of you who have never celebrated Burns Night before, I hope it was enjoyable. Usually Burns Night can get quite rowdy. I personally don't drink anymore, but usually Burns, thank you for that heart coming through. Usually Burns Night can get quite rowdy. Traditionally, you sit at a table and you have a meal with your friends and your family. You have some haggis, you have some whiskey, you of course sing some Robert Burns songs, you recite some of his poems, and it can get rowdy, but we can't do that. Hopefully you guys on your side of the screen, again, I don't personally drink, but if hopefully you guys had a few whiskeys and you joined me with the puffy shirt sort of thing. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. We got a good poem out of it, good fun. So I'm going to sign off. Before I do, for those of you who weren't here at the start, I'm just going to mention this again because there's one thing I forgot to mention. So if you don't know, I am the founder of a company called the Poetry Cove. It's supposed to be, well, it is the oh my God, I've forgotten my own log line. It's the most extensive poetry community. We have a magazine, we have a forum so you guys can get to know each other, we have an academy, we have a radio station, everything. But this is the magazine that I work on. This is the proof. It arrived today. But I forgot to tell you guys, late last night we had some good news. So you've probably heard me talk about the fact that this is archived at the National Poetry Library in London. But as of last night, there is now a library, a poetry library. It's called Poet's House in New York City that is going from this issue next month is going to stock us as well. So how cool is that? We're going to be in London and New York City. So yeah, just a fun bit of news for you. I forgot to mention at the start of the stream. So thank you so much, guys. 18 likes, I'll take that. 19 likes, holy crap. I kind of can we hang on for 2 more likes? Can we get 2 more likes and break a record? I'll hang on for another couple minutes. Drum roll. But yeah, wow. Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited. Yeah. So it's going to be in New York and London now. So we're making good. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're making good progress with that magazine. This year, been their poetry library. Fab. Oh, you have, Michael. Okay, 21 likes. That's a stream record, guys. We've never hit 21 likes. Where is the like button? Um, if you're on a computer or a phone, it will be under. I show 21. We've hit 21. But if you look under the video, there should be a thumb. It's like a thumb. But we've hit 21. 22 likes. Look at that, guys. That's awesome. What a stream. Thank you so much. This has been a record-breaking stream, and we got a new member. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. So, Poetry Cove and sign up. Yeah, definitely check out the forum as well. Quite a lot of people here in the chat are also what we call covers, poetry covers. They're there. So, yeah. Oh, we dropped down to 21. Can I get a 23? You guys are awesome. I'm genuinely so happy. Wow, a channel membership and 22 likes for the first time on the stream. I appreciate you guys so much. You do so much to support me, and I love you for it. I am going to sign off now. I'm going to go and have some dinner, and I hope for those of you that have time, I hope you continue to enjoy your Burns night. Have a few whiskeys if you're old enough to do so, of course, and responsibly. But have a good night, guys. I probably just demonetized myself for mentioning that beverage, but oh well. See you later, guys. I'll catch you. What day are we on? Thursday. I'll catch you on Sunday's stream. Good night, guys.